morning, everyone. Today, our guest doesn't just navigate the US energy landscape, she is actively working to secure its power supply during one of the most volatile and high stakes periods we have experienced. Please welcome with me Lisa Jacobson. As president of the Business Council for Sustainable Energy, BCSE, Lisa is the key voice representing the companies responsible for keeping the lights on. She operates at the crucial intersection of energy efficiency, natural gas, and renewables, the very technologies competing to meet the surging demand driven by new manufacturing and AI race. Currently, her focus is on ensuring stability by finding practical solutions to the biggest challenges of 2025, and including streamlining complex tax policies, speeding up slow permitting process, and rapidly deploying the necessary infrastructure for the grid transformation. Lisa is the ultimate realist, guiding private sector investments to support energy security and economic growth. Lisa, thank you for joining us today in the one of our episode ICWS Industry Blitz. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor.
Thank you. Lisa, let's start. In the race to reach net zero, is the biggest obstacle from your point of view the faster innovation or quicker policy approvals?
Actually, I would take it a little differently. I think it's deploying the commercially available technologies we have now. So scaling up is what we need. And as you noted in the introduction, BCSE, the Business Council for Sustainable Energy, we work with predominantly commercially available energy technologies, energy efficiency, natural gas, renewable energy, sustainable transportation, energy storage. These technologies are ready to go to deliver. They're proven, and in many cases, they're very affordable.
Thank you. I see. If we continue talking about the project deployment, for you, the most effective policy tool or technology that can really speed up right now the deployment?
We certainly have seen in the United States the effectiveness of long standing, durable tax policy. And while we certainly have had significant changes to our energy tax policy in the last year under the Trump administration and this new Congress, we still have really historic long-term tax policy that will impact energy investment, market growth for a number of really critical technologies, whether that be in the areas of renewable energy like hydropower, geothermal, energy storage, advanced manufacturing that's critical for those supply chains, or areas like hydrogen. We really have important tax policies in place, and we still have this long-standing window for investment. So tax policy is critical.
Can you tell us also about BCSE? As you combine natural gas, renewable efficiency, from your experience, what is the biggest technological challenge you have seen in the grid transformation right now?
I think this portfolio of low and zero carbon technologies, as you mentioned, natural gas, renewable energy efficiency, has really been the set of energy sectors that have grown, especially in the United States over the last 2 decades, if you look at what was built. And I think largely that portfolio is what's going to serve us in the next 5-10 years as our energy demand spirals. And while we keep energy affordability in mind, this expansive growth in the energy sector is a really positive thing for the United States in terms of our innovation, in terms of job creation, in terms of our infrastructure resilience. So it's not something we should shy away with. And as I said before, we have many commercially available technologies to deploy, but we need to look at the energy system in a holistic way and fully take advantage of the optimization that we can have by using a diverse portfolio of resources. That is the biggest challenge. We still are looking at sub pieces of our energy system. We are not looking holistically or for the long term.
How you see the long-term role of natural gas and the net zero goal for 2050?
In the United States, natural gas has been a primary contributor to the reduction in greenhouse gas emissions in the power sector and in our economy overall. But the good news is that in addition to what it's already accomplished, there are many ways to decarbonize natural gas in our economy and also use the natural gas infrastructure that we have, whether that be increasing renewable natural gas, looking at hydrogen, using this expansive natural gas infrastructure that citizens of the United States have invested in and built out is critical. Natural gas will continue to decarbonize. That is the direction of travel. And that is good. But I think what we need to do, back to this holistic view, is really look at how natural gas infrastructure can serve us as we are decarbonizing.
To continue on traditional resources, from COP30 outcomes, how effectively are policy investment and private capitals can be influencing countries towards sustainable energy, especially for US?
Number one, I think the whole action agenda that the Brazilian government really took to a whole new level is extremely important to the private sector. I was part of many conversations where governments and industry were focused not on aspirational ideas, but really rolling up your sleeves, thinking about how to drive new markets, whether that be in grid modernization or grid expansion in the power sector, or it be in the areas of hydrogen, thinking about how to shore up supply chains, not just for North America, but around the globe so that we can use the technologies in an expansive way. Those were really exciting opportunities for me. Also, there was continued focus on finance and in particular how to use blended finance structures so that we can really leverage every public dollar that we have with private sector investment. That is being much more institutionalized in the conversations about implementing the Paris Agreement, and the Brazilian presidency did a very good job of making that clear.
Staying on the climate finance, what is the most important policy or change, any changes we need to do in the next 2 years to fast and quickly attract these private capitals to speed up the power transformation?
Interestingly, I think one of the biggest ways to unlock investment is to make sure we have regulatory and policy certainty. And this is really important in the United States right now. Even when we had maybe a broader suite of energy tax credits to spur investment, we saw those signals from investors ready to go, but there was still a disconnect in terms of permitting, in terms of regulatory approvals, in terms of getting local support. So there's a lot that we need to do to enable finance to really move in. There are areas, for example, in energy efficiency, where we have a lot of capital waiting to invest, but we still have to get things moving on the ground to ensure that efficiency projects, whether they be in commercial or industrial settings or at the residential setting, we need to have that streamlined runway so that these projects can scale up and move faster. So in some ways, I don't think it's necessarily a finance tool. It's really ensuring that we have this enabling environment in place.
Thank you, Lisa. I want to move to more, let's say, about the industry. The energy industry has traditionally been male dominated. As a woman leader, what advice would you offer to mid career women striving to get to senior leadership positions?
I think it really starts with supporting women in the workplace at all levels and taking full advantage of an extended hand when it's offered to you, or creating your own networking platforms. That's certainly something that I've done from the very beginning, is try to work with other women colleagues of mine, either through the members we have at the Business Council for Sustainable Energy or in our broader energy network. Seek them out, create settings where we can come together and talk about life as much as we're talking about work. And that's just really critical for your career development in any field.
That's absolutely right. Thank you, Lisa. If you could implement one incentive today to accelerate the merging investment and private capital with scaling up to all this innovation, these technologies available right now over the next 3 years, what would be this incentive?
I think it would likely be in the tax code. We've seen in the United States that long-term, clear tax policy tremendously leverages private sector investment. So that's what I would suggest.
I still have one last question. Beyond simple emission reduction, what is the most important other metric that BCSE uses to measure success and resilience?
We look at the data. BCSE and Bloomberg NEF release each year the Sustainable Energy in America Factbook. And I think stalwart in every report over the last 14 years has been looking at the energy mix in the United States, looking at our consumption patterns, making sure that we're still increasing our energy productivity, which means growing our economy, and comparing that to consumption. We've had dramatic increases in energy productivity over the last 30 years, and we want to see that continue. So we're really looking at the actual data about what is growing, what investments are occurring. And when we see a line and a direction we're not happy with, well, we roll up our sleeves and get to work on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lisa, for all these insights. That's probably and for sure will trigger some other discussion and question from our guest on December 11th, which is exclusively woman leaders discussion. Until then, I wish you a healthy and a wonderful end of the year.
Oh, thank you so much.